Hello and welcome to Nikolay's genetics lesson. This video is going to be about beginning level of genetics, and today we are going to talk about X-linked traits. As usual, I recommend you to stop video here, read the questions, choose the correct answer, and when you would be ready you can run video again and you can compare your answers with my answers and explanations. So here's the first question. Harmful X-linked traits are, and here's the three answers to choose from. Answer A, inherited only from the mothers. B, are more numerous than Y-linked ones, and C, most likely to show up in the phenotype of the daughters. So which answer to choose? Let's build a Punnett square. So here is the genotype of the father, so it's going to be XY, and phenotype of the mother would be XX. And when we build a Punnett square, we would see who of the children would inherit which chromosomes. So let's change color of this chromosome. So now we see that here we would have a daughter who would inherit one X chromosome from the father side and one X chromosome from the mother side. Here we also would have a female who is also going to inherit one chromosome from mother side and one chromosome from the father side. And here we would have male who is going also inherit one chromosome from the mother side and one Y chromosome from the father side. And here is another male who is going to inherit also one X chromosome from the mother side and Y chromosome from the father side. Now imagine that on the X chromosome here on the father side we have harmful trait, some gene that is defective, and as you see all his daughters will inherit this trait also. If it is recessive, they wouldn't show up in the phenotype, but if it is dominant, they would show up in the phenotype. So answer A, inherited only from the mothers, is incorrect answer, so we can cross out this answer. And for example, answer C, most likely to show up in the phenotype of daughters. Let's now consider different situation when we have trait that is on the one of the mother's X chromosomes, for example here, and as you see one of the daughters would inherit this X chromosome and one of the males also would inherit this X chromosome. If this trait would be recessive, that means that daughter wouldn't show up this recessive genetic disorder because she would have one normal X chromosome. So now we consider that father would be normal, so this one recessive allele would be balanced with another normal allele on the X chromosome inherited from the father side. But as for the male, 50% of the males, as you see, would be normal, but 50% would inherit this defective allele on the X chromosome from the mother side, and they would show up this genetic disorder even if it is recessive, because males doesn't have another X chromosome to balance this genetic disorder, this recessive genetic disorder. As you see, males, according to this picture, are more prone to express recessive genetic disorders than females, because females would be just carriers and would show up normal phenotype. So we can cross out answer C. So only correct answer left is B. So B answer, harmful X-linked traits are more numerous than Y-linked ones. Why? Because X chromosome about 10 times bigger than Y chromosome, and that means that of course it also has about 10 times as many genes in Y chromosome. Here we can find about 2000 genes, and on the Y chromosome we can find only about 200 genes. So the correct answer would be B. Next question. Red-green color blindness is, and answer A, an X-linked trait, answer B, Y-linked trait, and answer C, both X and Y linked. And the answer here would be very simple. It is X-linked trait. That's why most of the people who is colorblind would be males. Once again, this Punnett square explains why when a mother would be phenotypically normal and would be a carrier, 50% of her daughters would be also carriers and would have normal phenotype. The other 50% also would have normal phenotype and would be also genotypically normal, and 50% of her sons would be also phenotypically and genotypically normal, but 50% of her sons would phenotypically express this genetic disorder because they don't have another X chromosome to balance this only X chromosome inherited from mother side with recessive allele. And this doesn't mean that females cannot have this genetic disorder, but in order for females to have this genetic disorder, her mother should be heterozygous for this trait, and her father should also express this genetic disorder. And as you see, this would be much more rare event, and this explains why most of the people who is colorblind would be males, and just very small fraction of all those people who is colorblind would be females. And this is all for today. Thank you for your attention. Please subscribe for my new videos that I post almost every day. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please write your comments, questions if you have any, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.